5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
This is About Space, America's return to space. With news and information on the U.S. manned space program is your host of About Space, David Denault. Welcome and thanks for joining me. Last week we introduced NASA's Hunch program for high school-aged youth to develop a project to be tested on the ground or on the International Space Station. And how about the 17-year-old intern who found a planet? With details is Rick Potluck from our Washington Bureau.
David, most of us have a job where we have a 9-to-5 existence, but how about discovering a planet on your third day on the job? That's what happened to 17-year-old Wolf Sukier, who's an intern with NASA.
When I went into the program, I expected to do something, but I didn't expect to actually find a planet.
The high school senior from Scarsdale, New York, is working with NASA's Planet Hunter satellite, TESS, an acronym which means Transiting Exoplanet Survey Satellite. Tess and Sukier discovered the exoplanet, which, by the way, means planet outside our solar system, and is about 7 times larger than Earth.
What's interesting about this planet is that it orbits 2 stars.
The exoplanet, named TOI 1338b, orbits the 2 stars every 95 days and is about 1,300 light years away, so it's not around the corner. The name isn't exactly like Mars, Jupiter, or Venus, but as Sukier explains, he and his family are politicking for a better name.
My family is gunning for Wolftopia.
I'm sure we'll hear more about Wolftopia soon enough. Reporting from the Washington News Bureau, I'm Rick Potluck.
An amazing story, Rick, which leads us right into our program today. As we discussed, over the next decade, STEM jobs are expected to grow 55% faster than other traditional jobs. Now, if you're not familiar with the acronym STEM, it stands for the disciplines of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Today we'll discuss how STEM programs are working in one of the most highly rated public school districts in the state of Georgia. Next on About Space Today. Are you ready to fly away on a dream vacation? For cruises and all-inclusive resort vacations, call D&D Cruise and Tours at 877-747-8631. That's 877-747-8631. And see us on Facebook, D&D Cruise and Tours, where your dreams become a reality. Welcome back. We are at the administrative offices of Cherokee County Schools in Canton, Georgia, just north of Atlanta. And joining me to discuss the STEM program is Dr. Erin Jacobs, the coordinator of K-12 Science and STEM curriculum for Cherokee County Schools. Welcome, Dr. Jacobs, and kind of share with us your excitement about the program called STEM for Young People.
We are excited in Cherokee County School District about the direction of STEM. We have really focused this year on developing a STEM culture across our schools, and that culture really focuses on problem-based learning. It helps students embrace failure as an opportunity to learn from our mistakes, and we are really excited about the direction we're heading in.
What do you mean by a culture?
A culture is that STEM is not just science, technology, engineering, and math. STEM is really making real-world connections and providing our students with opportunities to be able to experience that, whether it's with partnerships that we have with local universities or partnerships with local businesses. Those pieces are going to bring those opportunities to our students so that STEM becomes problem-based learning in their everyday lives, and they see the connections not just in those content areas but across everything they do.
The students get into this program. Do they have to have any prerequisites to get into a STEM program?
Woodstock High School has a STEM certified program by the state, and students apply to be in that program, and they have certain classes that are required for them to kind of complete that program. Other than that, our schools do not have specific STEM programs. We're really trying to build that culture so that it is cross-curricular and it's not for a select group of students.
Will this start eventually, do you think, in, say, first grade and move on up through 12th?
We are starting at the elementary level already and building that culture. We are doing that district-wide across all of our middle schools, and we are at the beginning stages of preparing our high schools for these new type of learners that are going to be coming to them.
Do you focus on maybe just the technology aspect, or do you focus on the mathematics? How do you start the program?
We're really focused on making things interdisciplinary. So we really look at global goals for sustainability as topics that we can incorporate multiple content areas and kind of bring those standards together, because in the real world, students don't do math from 8 to 9 o'clock and ELA from 9 to 10 o'clock. Everything is intertwined. So we're really trying to teach them how to become problem solvers and critical thinkers, and to be able to communicate with each other and work to solve these problems.
You mentioned colleges as well as businesses. How does that integrate with the school system?
So we have several partnerships where we're able to provide real professionals for our students to access, whether it's a virtual opportunity where they get to ask questions, or a virtual field trip where they get to see inside of a lab in particular. We also have some partnerships where we're able to bring people in as guest speakers or to participate in experiments with our students. So we really try to use our community and all of the strengths and the talents in our community to bring more opportunities to our students.
I think one of the most exciting things that you shared with me before we did the interview was bringing an astronaut into the classrooms. Was that exciting?
Yes, it was an awesome opportunity that not a lot of people get, but we were able to bring a former astronaut into several of our schools to talk to our students about his experiences in space on the shuttle, also his experiences with research in space, and it's just a very exciting and applicable opportunity for our students. And one of the big pieces he continued to talk about were his failures along the way, and how he was able to turn those failures into very positive things that ended up being very successful for him.
Dr. Erin Jacobs, the coordinator for K through 12 science and STEM curriculum for Cherokee County Schools. And I would also like to thank Dr. Brian Hightower, the superintendent of Cherokee County Schools. I hope our podcast on NASA's hunch and STEM in public schools has helped you better understand that programs like these are readying our youth to meet the needs for future space exploration. Join me again next Tuesday. And for launch details and more, like us on Facebook. And be sure to share our programs with your family and friends. I'm David Denault, and this has been About Space Today.